This video was sponsored by Brilliant. Hey everyone, Ian Atkinson here with NASA Spaceflight. Welcome back to another CAPE update, where we cover everything that is happening at SpaceX Roberts Road, Pad 39A, Blue Origin's CAPE facility, and beyond. This week, we spotted progress on the Starship pad, and foundation and construction work on the Star Factory and High Bay facilities at the Cape. Furthermore, Blue Origin has finished major parts of their 2-cap building. Alright, let's get into the details. First, let's look at what's happening at the SpaceX facility on Roberts Road. In front of Hangar X, we saw a brand new side booster for Falcon Heavy. Taking a closer look, the booster was revealed to be B-1064, which will be used on the USSF-44 mission. It'll be SpaceX's first launch directly to geostationary orbit, and the rocket's first launch after a 3-year hiatus. At the fairing refurbishment section of Hangar X, a fairing was delivered, waiting to be refurbished, after which it will be assigned a mission to fly. It's unclear what mission it flew on most recently because it's covered with a tarp. Towards the north side of the facility, crews have cleared a part of the construction area. This will be used as parking spaces for employees working at Roberts Road. This is backed up by updated plans for the facility. With the influx of more and more jobs at Cape Canaveral due to SpaceX's increased activity, they're surely going to need it. Towards the east side wall of Hangar X, the concrete pathways have started construction as well, indicating there will be no further expansion of the main building there, and that it has reached its final footprint. Looking towards the west, SpaceX teams are working hard to build the production facility for Starship, similar to the ones at Boca Chica. To support this on-site work, 2 new tents were set up by the workers. Just next door at the tower assembly yard, we can see 4 of the tower sections fully assembled, with the 5th one nearing completion. The construction of the 6th section is also underway. The teams also seem to be ready to start the assembly of the 7th section, as some of the components and a set of feet are already present at the assembly area. These assembled sections will be integrated on top of each other at the Starship launch site at Launch Complex 39A to build the orbital launch tower for Starship and Super Heavy. Moving south of the tower assembly area, we can see that SpaceX has started construction of the new Megabay at the Cape. Workers are seen here using pile drivers to begin what will become the foundations of the facility where SpaceX will stack barrel sections to build Starships and Super Heavy boosters in Florida. We can also see that, at the same time, they're pushing forward with completion of the foundations by already installing rebar. This initial look at the foundations suggests that the Florida Megabay will be of the same size and shape as the one at Starbase, but we'll be keeping an eye out for potential differences once it starts rising from the ground. On our last flyover, we were able to see some concrete spread footings for what will be SpaceX's Florida Star Factory. Now, almost all of them are completed, with the southernmost row still not complete yet, and some of the spread footings are being filled in as well on the north side. Between the Star Factory building and the Megabay, we can see the entrance road to the west side of the Roberts Road complex is complete, connecting the main road with the tower assembly area. At Launch Complex 39A, work continues on both the Starship and Falcon areas. The horizontal integration facility used to process Falcon rockets before launch was seen with its main door open, likely ready to receive Falcon Heavy side booster B-1064 spotted earlier at Roberts Road. Moving over to the northeast, a new tent has popped up at the old Starship landing zone, where in the last flyover, we saw frames for it going up. North of this, at the 39A Starship orbital launch site, the tower concrete base is being expanded, with walls coming out to the west and away from the upcoming orbital launch mount. At Starbase, the part of the concrete base of the tower facing away from the launch mount houses equipment and drawworks for the Mechazilla system. While it's still too early to tell the full size and shape of this base expansion, it already looks certainly different in design than what we can see at Starbase. It is likely that SpaceX teams were able to learn from Boca Chica and improve the design for the Florida launch and catch tower. Right next to the future launch tower, we can see rebar coming out of the ground for what will be the 39A Starship orbital launch mount. In this satellite picture tweeted by our friend Harry Stranger, we can see that the launch mount legs are already prepared a bit north of the launch mount site. More strangely though, to the west of both the launch tower and the launch mount, an octagonal clearing can be seen on the ground. It is not obvious yet what this could be, but given its size, it is no doubt related to Starship. We'll keep an eye out on what comes of this site in future flyovers. At the main ramp, work can be seen underway on the Falcon Transporter Erector, or TE, which is understood to be undergoing upgrades to support the increased cadence of flights by SpaceX this year. On that same note, we could also see Space Launch Complex 40, which has been recently undergoing similar upgrades ahead of the upcoming Starlink Group 4-15 mission. On the northeast side, Falcon 9 booster B1021 rests after having been in storage at Hangar E for years. It is unclear why it is being stored out in the open at Slick 40, but it was expected to be put on display at some point. At the main ramp, the TE's strongback hasn't picked up the reaction frame yet, which is a key step in preparing the pad for rocket integration. The launch was initially expected closer to the middle of this week, but has slipped in recent days, and this is likely why the reaction frame pickup hasn't occurred yet. And speaking of things that have slipped to the right, over at Air Liquide, things look unchanged from our last week's flyover. The upgrades that were needed for SLS are supposed to be done, but they did not change the appearance of the buildings. Over at Blue Origin, square footings for the warehouse expansions are being prepared, while the ground is now completely cleared ahead of the start of construction of the next manufacturing building. Besides that, the other cleared areas showed no major changes compared to our last flyover. At the 2CAT building, which will be used to clean and test New Glen's second stages, we can see that it now has a roof and has reached its final height. The cladding on the side buildings and the main building are going up as well, as Blue Origin gets closer to completing the build. Next to the 2CAT, a staircase is going up, together with another not yet clearly defined structure next to it. At Blue Origin's launch pad, Launch Complex 36, nothing has changed drastically. Jarvis is still enjoying its time in the sun, while no Pathfinder or rocket is visible. If you want to learn more about how exactly rockets, orbital mechanics, or other scientific principles work, then check out today's sponsor, Brilliant.org. Brilliant is a website that allows you to learn interactively and at your own pace. Each section has diagrams, examples, and questions to help you master the material. And if you get a question wrong or just want to learn more information, there's always a detailed explanation available on how to find the answer. Using their scientific thinking course, you can learn more about basic principles and concepts across several fields of science, especially physics, which is essential in engineering. There are even hands-on diagrams of the concepts to go alongside the lessons. You can check out Brilliant for free at brilliant.org/NASA-spaceflight. The first 200 viewers to use this link will get 20% off an annual premium subscription. And that's it for this week's flyover. Make sure to catch our daily Boca Chica videos as well to stay up to date on what's happening in Starbase. Also, you can now enjoy watching the progress over at McGregor, where SpaceX is testing their Raptor engines. We now have a 24/7 camera that shows multiple engine tests every day. And last but not least, thanks to our members, supporters, and viewers for making today's video possible. Thanks for watching, and have a great week.